Hey, I know we're all like, I was like, damn. Okay, folks, you know what day it is. As always, it's Thursday. Real dope, chopping it up with Chris. I have to apologize because I think I, along with the rest of America, thought last night's episode was decision day.
I did too. It should have been.
Yes.
Because last night was just a waste of time.
Yes. It's just like, come on, give it to us. Come on. Come on. Let me see.
The thing I thought I felt the most that this was such a shit episode, it was all scripted. You all don't think most of that? I would say 90% of that was all scripted.
Oh, like what they wanted to say and stuff?
Yeah, you could tell that like when they had their conversations with like their person on online or whatever.
Right.
There was hesitation. People who can't act, Chris.
Right.
Not like, but you could tell there was hesitation. There was certain lines that people knew to jump in on and say, well, what about the marriage or something like that? I don't know. It read to me as very scripted episode, which is basically unnecessary.
Well, I think they're obviously doing that to they want to set us up.
Exactly.
They want to set us up for, and also they had to do, I mean, if you had Haley's friend talking to her, maybe like, girl, you know what's going on. She's like, yeah, but they have to kind of like juice and zhuzh it a little bit. Yeah. Make it like, but what about this? No, I think so.
They overdid it. But who are we going to start with tonight?
Tanya.
At this point, I don't even care. I just want to throw the baby out with the goddamn bathwater at this point, because I have to disagree with you two a little bit.
Okay.
Yes, the episode was kind of stupid, but it kind of gave me some insight just watching how they were all interacting with each other. And last week I was saying that this person was going to stay together. This person was going to stay together. Last night's episode has got me saying they about to go 0 for 5 and nobody's staying together.
Well, they have to do that. Remember, they're trying to keep you off balance.
With Woody and Imani.
True.
So I don't
know. Vinny and Brianna, with all the extra stuff going on and all the, they're going to stay together.
I don't know that though, because here was what was very troubling to me was when he left, like to go home to the night before, what have you. And you can clearly tell that she was like feeling some sort of way about him leaving and, what was going to happen. And when he said to her, it was nice knowing you. How rude.
It was.
Y'all remember that? When he walked and he was leaving and he's like, it was nice knowing you.
It was. And you know what? I felt like it was so out of character because it was something else.
Was he joking with her? Yeah.
But his face did not look like he was joking.
He was joking, but it was a sourpuss joke. It seemed like he was upset because she had said earlier, he hadn't gotten off of that fact that she had said earlier that he was not organized.
Organized, yeah.
So he's kind of smarting over that.
The way that she talks to him.
Okay.
The way that she talks to him is troubling for me because I think she said, well, this is who I am. Even her mother was edifying it by saying, well, we know this is who you are. And if he can't handle this and the other, no, but you're not.
You didn't give her good advice.
You are in a relationship. You are in a marriage.
Correct.
And there has to be some compromises on your attitude and your bossiness. And you're dealing with another person's feelings where you can't just say, you know what? I wasn't thinking about you because you're really unorganized. It's like, you don't really need to express that. And he came back with well, I didn't want someone who's bossy because his feelings were hurt. So he's like, well, I didn't want someone who's bossy, and you definitely are bossy.
And when he said it was a put off, remember, he took it even deeper. He dug that dagger in when he was like, well, and, you know, basically.
I didn't ask for that.
Bitch. Yeah.
He said, I didn't ask for that.
Mm-hmm. And then when he's like, and at the wedding, when everybody was like, oh, she's nice, but bossy, loving, but bossy, this, but bossy. And he's like, yeah, that was a turnoff for me. And I was like, ooh, clap back.
But he said that because his feelings were hurt.
Of course. And because he's a simp. Listen, this season has been the season of the simp.
Yeah, I do like Vincent. I do. But he has a lot of maturing to do.
Yeah, he's got a little growing up to do.
He has to grow up. He's a good person. What's a simp? What's a simp?
Simple, basically. He's simple.
Yeah.
What's his name? Eric with a K is simple.
Yeah.
Ryan's just confused.
He has to grow up. So, okay, so what are we going to just give percentages now for Brianna and anything?
They gave us a little 10% hit, but it's still 85% for them, for both of them. It's still, I mean, they're going to say yes.
Yeah.
They have to give you something to keep you off balance, because if we know exactly what everything's doing now, you know, and did you see the preview, right?
No.
Did you watch the preview?
No, I didn't watch the preview, no.
We stopped watching the previews because you said don't watch them.
But I never watched the preview, but I slipped past and I said, and I was like, okay, I watch it. Just the, and I'm not gonna say anything.
Okay.
But you both are gonna be like, I can't wait. I want you to see it.
But that's the preview, and they usually go the opposite way.
Right, but something in the preview, even if it's just said, you're gonna be like, Tanya, you're gonna be angry. You're gonna start throwing things, and Shahidah, you're just gonna be shaking your head, going. So, and look, they know what they're doing. Married at First Sight, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
They do.
They know that they have to tease and get you to think something and all that shit. So, but I was like, you gotta be.
That's why, that is the sole reason why I did not watch. I clicked it off real quick. I was like, I'm done.
Yeah. So anyway.
All right. So what are the percentages? Like you said, what?
For Brianna,
I think they're both 85. They're 85%. Both of them are 85%. They're still gonna say yes. They still love each other. They just have issues. They just have issues. You know, like any couple, they have issues. So it's never going to be perfect. He needs to grow up, and I think they'll grow up together. I really do think that she's going to learn how to. Look, it's been 2 months. She still don't know how to talk to him.
Can I ask you guys a question? This is a cultural question about Brianna, and I don't know what her situation is like between her mother and her father, but I was like listening to her mother, how she talked about how, you know, about her being bossy. If you're a good mother in a good relationship, or has had a good, you know, solid relationship with a man, that's not the advice that you would give. So I'm wondering too, with a lot of the issues that Brianna has with the, I'm always going to say what I, you know, have to say or whatever. She doesn't seem like she knows how to deal with men. Was there a man in the household?
I believe that. I think you're right. I think you're onto something, Shahidah, because
the mother doesn't seem to know how either. But go ahead.
Right. No, I think you're right. I think you're onto something, because I think a lot of her, she has been taught to be an independent woman and not to rely on any man, as a lot of Black women have grown up to be, because out of necessity a lot of times. But still, there's a place where if there was a positive role model or something else, you can still be an independent woman, yet, you know, be able to have
understand the dynamics of a marriage, because it's so different.
Right. So, but I think she's on that independent woman kick, and that's why she couldn't find someone in the first place, and why she's on Married at First Sight, because they're like, oh, you are way too much for me. And she's like, well, I'm not going to compromise who I am for you, because I am who I am, and I can be a single by myself, and I'm 26, 28 years old.
I don't need nobody.
You know how many Black women have been like, I don't, you know what? Until you can until she's forced to get married, and now she's forced to confront herself of like, ooh, like,
well,
you
because
know,
she kind of showed it. She showed it on one of the last episodes when they were talking about her moving in with him,
right?
And she kind of looked at him like, now, what would make you think I would leave a 2-bedroom to go to a 1-bedroom? And I was like, twink, touche. I sure as fuck wouldn't.
And you know what? It's interesting about it. I think almost she treats him like, now hear me out, but I think she treats him like a pet that she loves because that's all she's ever known how to take care of someone else. Does that make sense? So when you're saying we're going to get up in the morning, we're going to get up at 8 o'clock, we're going to do this in the morning. Oh, you're not doing it. Oh, that's very good. Like how she treats her dog. You know, my princess, she takes care of the dog. She's good to the dog. Oh, you did, you know, poo-poo, whatever. He's like, oh, Vincent, you know, that's a very Vinny move. And she's like, and then setting him up for things like to test him, like the ballet dancing or the tap dancing,
horseback riding,
and the horseback riding thing of doing things that she wants to do. Now she don't know that he don't like horseback riding, and even if it was the first time that she said, he's like, I'm afraid of horses. I don't like horses. And she's just like, come on, let's just do it anyway. Now I get the prompting you to want your man to be what you want him to be, but if the brother didn't want to be on a horse, don't force the brother to be on the horse. But he had to get on the horse because of TV, because of Married at First Sight, because he's gonna look bad. Even can he struggle against? I don't want to get on the horse. I don't want to get on. I mean, he was really afraid, but he got up on it only because he was on TV and on Married at First Sight. And she kind of used that. I think even after she saw how he acted with the dance. I think she kind of used that again against him to try to like, see, it wasn't that bad the first time. You can do it, honey. I always want someone to. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the fact that she didn't even have a conversation with him about it,
right?
That disturbed me too, because I'm like, you're going on a couples retreat, and you know, one of those days is you and your spouse have a special day, and he kind of called her on it. He's like, you know, we were supposed to talk about it or what have you, and she was like, well, you know, we had to make the decision, so I just picked one
that she would want. Not that the two of them could do, but that she would want. And she doesn't have any idea that he's afraid of horses? Maybe not. But if he initially says that we're going to go horseback riding, or did she surprise him with the horses?
She surprised him.
She surprised him. Because they didn't have the conversation, because they were supposed to plan it together, and then it didn't happen for whatever reason. So she went behind, and instead of doing what a wife should do, wait to talk to her husband and figure out, hey, what do you want to do on this specific day? She went and picked, like you said, what she wanted to do, because she wanted to horseback ride. And remember, he said you couldn't pick like dune buggies in the sand on the beach or something.
Right. Exactly.
So I don't know. I'm going to have to go a little bit lower because I think
for Brianna and Vincent.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go. I'm not much lower. I'm going to. Chris said 85. I'm going to go like 75. I'm knocking it down 10 because I think if anything, if anything, I think if this marriage doesn't work, it's going to be because she's going to be like, I'm good.
Not necessarily, because he's got the whole baby thing. He wants 4 kids. That's a whole consideration on his end. You know, he wants 4 kids of his own. That's one of the things he's always dreamed of. And if she's not down for that, maybe, you know, adopting. Remember, they're doing the whole adopting thing, or, you know, she has, you know, and the way she's talking, you know, there is some room there.
That's why I'm saying that she would take herself out of it and just end the marriage. I mean, because like you said, why would you, if I'm a woman and this is, I don't want to do specific things, especially when it comes to rearing children. I'm not, if I could love him, but if he is adamant, I want my own children and I want children, I already know I'm not going to be that person. So,
but she says she wants them too. She
does want them. She just has the fear.
Yeah.
She has the fear of the hypertension, which is a legitimate fear, by the way. But she wasn't open to the, I mean, she wanted to talk about like adoption or surrogacy or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think at a point away from the cameras, they probably will have that discussion if they stay together. Like I said, I'm going to stay at 90. I feel like
I'll say 85.
I feel like the biggest problem that they have is his immaturity on dealing with things that make him uncomfortable, and her having to learn how to work with a man.
Yes.
In a marriage situation, because
work
I feel
with
like,
this man,
exactly.
A man in general, yes, but Vin is not that far off from being able to handle him in terms, you know what I mean? She just needs to tone it down. She doesn't need to stop it all by having a domineering man of like, no, you can't tell me what to do. He's just like, I don't like when you do that. You know what I mean? So it's not too far off. They're just a little off from, and he's just got to grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, he's just got to grow up. But I really do think that they really respect each other. And I do think that they do love each other in the time that you can have 8 weeks, 9 weeks, as much as you can.
Yeah.
You know. So we'll see.
Right. So I think that's good.
Right. 90, 85, and 75. Who else can we talk about? Let's see.
I want to go with well, maybe you should save them for Eric and Virginia.
Okay.
So toxic.
The disgust on your face, that was just
First of all, I keep trying to tell you, ladies, I love you. But do you see when he says to her, you are everything, I will do anything you want, I will this. You are. I've never had a woman. And she's just looking like this. If she had chips, she'd be like this.
Her eyes said it all. He was sitting there like a complete simp, that is the word of the day, and basically begging her. And professing his undying love. And it was uncomfortable for me. And if I were her, I'd probably be looking at him too. Like, what the fuck?
She was looking at him like, I got you.
She was looking at him like, I don't like you.
I think she was looking at him. It's so funny, you guys. And I think she was looking at him like, it's really, really nice, but it's just not my thing.
Yeah. I'm not into that.
Can't. And I'm telling you, when it comes down to the question, do you want to be with this man? She's going to say, no.
I'm telling you. Yes.
I agree to you that I now agree with you. She's going to say no.
She doesn't
just by the way she was looking at him, her eyes said it all when he was talking. And she's just sitting there and she's got that shit-eating grin on. And her eyes are just dead. There was nothing behind them eyeballs of hers that expressed any emotion. It was just like looking into a black fucking hole.
She likes the adulation of him.
She
likes the fact that he worships her.
Nope. Once the camp, no.
I think she went with it for the time being. But when it comes down to it, hey, she don't want to move into the house. She said it again.
And he's already backtracking, though. He's backtracking that.
But it doesn't make a difference because she doesn't. He's already trying to make all kinds of concessions, and we can do this. But you see him after he was crying. He still did. When he does this with the hands and his head, he goes, "Yeah, but that's not what I said. That's not what." But I'm trying to get you to. And she's like, "Yeah, I mean, we have different things. Yeah. We have different things about the marriage, different." She's like, yeah, I just, I think we just have different views on how. And then when
oh my God, when she showed her ass and her age. She showed her age when they were talking about that. And she was like, with the soulmate thing. And she's like, she was like, you really believe in soulmates? Like there's someone made for someone out there. And he's like, well, yeah. And she's like, she called him though. She's like,
called him out on it.
She's like, but you were, if your soulmates, weren't you married? And I was like, ding, checkmate.
Exactly.
Because I agree with her. That was the one time in my life. That was the one time in my life and during this whole series that I agreed with Virginia on that, with the whole, like, I don't believe in soulmates either. I was like, I'm with you.
I mean, his point was totally fair. And then him saying, well, at the time, I thought that she was my soulmate.
I was wrong.
Everybody who believes in soulmates say that in every single relationship.
You know what's really interesting about this season? Most of the men are the ones who really want to be married. Steak and Eggs really wants to be married. Eric really wants to be married. Vinny really wants to be married. and all the women are kind of giving a little pushback, a little rub of yeah, Virginia because she's too young.
I was gonna say, with the exception of the chin.
With the chin, yeah. With Clara really wants to be more married than he does, but I don't. You know, we'll get to them. We'll get to them.
Okay.
But back to Virginia.
Okay.
But I feel like he wants so badly to work it out with her. If she would just listen to him, that's what he's saying to himself. If you just listen to me, and if we can just do this, and I know better. And now he's making concessions, and he's like, well, and she's like, oh well, you know, on decision day, I mean, yeah, right. And she's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess so.
No, remember she kept saying, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
But she was just so dismissive,
really?
like think.
He's making.
I don't think she's gonna. I don't know.
She's not gonna say. When it comes down to it, she's going between him being a Republican, a conservative, between how he treats her in terms of talks down to her. She does not want to be married to this guy. She doesn't want to move in. She doesn't know how to be in a relationship, and she's young and she misses partying. She even said to her best friend, "Yeah, well, you know, he says I can go party, but I don't understand why I can't just go party when he's not here."
Yeah, when he doesn't have nothing planned for us, why can't I just go out with my friends?
She doesn't want to be.
Let me ask you guys a question about the conservative thing, because he said something last night about her being so full of life or something. She's so full of color. He said she was, and he said, and I just like that about her the best because it pulls me out. Now, full of color is very liberal for her. And he's very, you know, he's Republican. Why would you think they would fix them up together?
Good question. Good question.
I couldn't tell you on that one. I don't know what they put on their applications.
That's a good question.
Or because what questions were asked and answered.
The main things have to be. That's the sticking points for a match. You're gonna match two people together. I'm not matching a Democrat and a Republican together. I'm not, even if they look perfect together and everything else, if they have different political views, especially in this climate and where we are in America today, it's very difficult to get past and around because it's ideologies, and her ideologies are against her father. So she's even more pulled back from that, more removed from and having a gay sister. I don't want to. And marrying that guy, I'm telling you. I've been trying to tell you for weeks. Just wait.
No, I'm gonna eat crow because now after that, I'm telling you, after last night, I was like, damn, she's not gonna stay with him.
I feel like she's going to, and I can see why you would change, because I'm like on the fence of changing too. But I still believe at the end of the day, she's going to say yes to staying married.
I don't know.
And I think it's because part of him begging her to do it. I think that plays a big part for her because, like you said, she likes that adoration that he gives her, and then on top of that, I mean, that other stuff. They feel like they can sex that all away right now.
Yeah, but I think she's turned off by him. Their sex may be great, but I think she's getting turned off by him. Like. He's not. I think if he was like, hey, if he was kind of like laid back and like, instead of being so, he's like this and then I can't, and then like this and I can't. If he was like laid back and been like, okay, if you don't want to live in my house, that's where I'm going. That's it. But he gives her so much like, when he started crying, I'm like,
just give me like 2-3 weeks. Eric, I gotta rent my house, and I
was like, dude, stop crying. Do not cry around her. And she didn't.
Did that surprise you?
She was disgusted.
The surprise. He's been leading up to that for a while because he really wants it.
I was really surprised by the intensity of that begging.
Totally.
Because I feel like he's going to look back on that and he is going to feel all his manhood just seep.
Well, because I watched it. I watched all his manhood seep.
Ugh, but he really wants to be married. He really wants to be married, and he wants to be married to her. And I'm like,
I think a lot of.
Do you think it's because he wants to be married to her because of the age?
I think so.
I think that's some of it, yeah, because he wants kids. Remember, that's another thing. She don't want kids for a couple years too, and he wants kids right away. So we got the kids thing, we got the conservative Republican thing, we got the age just immaturity thing, we have the friends over the friend's house thing, and the controlling thing. Those are 5 major things. She does not want to be there. She does not want to be married to him. She does not want to be married to him. I'm telling you. She wants to marry that best friend that came over and gave her a hug when she had cute jeans on, and she came over and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And she lit up. She's like, "Ah!"
You see, as soon as the door opened, she was like, "Yes."
28-year-old drinking buddy staying on his couch friend,
right?
Who's much more of a, guy that she likes. He doesn't like the mature,
but she likes that he's a pilot. She likes that he has his own plane. She claims to like these things.
She has to like something.
She likes,
but he way too much adoration for her, and she's feeling the pressure of. She's just the more that he did that, the more she's like,
looked so repulsed by it.
And he's like,
I'm gonna have to watch it again.
It was like Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah, it was
like Pepe Le Pew.
Yep. Really? Come here, ma chérie. And she's
like this. The cat like.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you, Chris. I changed. I don't think she's gonna stay married.
I think he is at 70 because he's still at 70. He wants it. He's still at 70, but there's a lot of issues. And she's at 40. She's at 40. She's at 35.
Yeah. He'd burn his car up tonight and he'd still say yes. I believe he's at
I believe that
90.
Yeah, but I think in his mind, in terms of yes, it is going to be yes. It's over 50%. But I think the 70% is like yes. That 30% like if she would just do this, but yes.
I think
all right.
But she's at 35. She's like,
oh yeah, she's
the way she looks, and she keeps saying, "Oh, well, we'll see." And he's like, I mean, he even said, like, really, like, can we be a little more positive about it? And
exactly.
Like, yeah,
we've heard that twice.
Right.
So we might as well jump on over to Clara and Ryan.
Ooh, Chin and the Elf.
First of all, football, bowling, whatever. Did you see?
I want to do that.
Did you see
that looked like so much fun?
Did you see his cute, tight, light blue capri jeans?
Jeggings. They were more like jeggings. They were like tights.
Exactly. Did you see his cute? I was like, oh, look, who's cuter, Clara or Ryan? Because Ryan was trying to look going up there in his little capri pants, and I was like, Ryan, come on, man. Come on, man. Bruh. Come on, bruh. For sure.
Okay, for sure. I do have to give. Sure. I do the one props I have to give Ryan. His wardrobe is just horrible, but I'm going to chalk it up to age. I respect the fact that he using this platform because you peep his t-shirts.
Oh yeah, I've seen all of his. Yeah,
his Black Lives Matter, and he was just on the thing, and he had like the one with
the George Floyd,
Avery, George Floyd. I give it. He's got a mean. I like what he's doing.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I like what he's doing, but them painted on jeans though.
Look past the barbershop quartet mustache.
Oh my god!
Because he has a Black Lives Matter shirt on.
Handlebars.
No, I still can't.
And I honestly don't think. First of all, he doesn't pay any attention to her in terms of knowing what she would like knowing, like even when he's throwing the football and she's like, he's kind of oblivious to it. He's kind of like, yeah, well, you gotta do something like this. He's not sensitive to her at all, or how she's feeling or what she's doing. And she just wants to be in love so bad. And she thinks he's such a great guy, and he seems like a nice guy, but baby,
something's off. You know why? I keep going back to this. You can't ask for pleasure from someone that you are not willing to give the same. And the fact that he can actually have her do all that to him and get off and then turn over because he has some kind of trust issue. I think
we don't know. We don't
wait a minute. Do we know that he even asked her to pleasure him? It could have been a situation where they just get in the bed and they cuddle. They didn't make no bones about that.
And she wants it so badly. And she wants it so badly.
She could have slid her hand over and just grabbed the dick, and you ain't no man
all the time. And he
why
never.
She wants it so badly.
She wants it so badly that she's thinking maybe tonight this will be the night.
It's a matter of time.
I'll stroke him off, or I'll suck him off, and he'll just
stick it in real quick.
Just a tip.
I mean, well, we've already said that we thought he was gay, right?
He's got to be. There's something.
Either he is gay, or he has never, ever had a girlfriend at all. Anything.
It's weird if you've never said I love. If you're, how old is he? 28 or whatever.
Yeah.
How old is he? 28 probably.
I think he's 28.
If all your relationships, that all of them have never gotten to the point where you love one, or you got your heart. I don't think they've gotten heartbroken, or. I mean, you at 21, at 19, you can be in love with somebody. At 22, but he's never been in love or never said I love you to someone. That's weird to me.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
even if it was like an infatuation or whatever, I'm sure there must have been a guy that he liked back in the day, and he said, I mean,
I just think he's
just
gay.
slip it on in there.
He's gay. He's confused because
for sure. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, sure.
And you know what? When he does that, it's so dismissive. It's like,
but he is like Virginia in the fact that, see, I look at people's eyes, and he is like Virginia in when she's talking to him and she's just putting it all out there, and he's just like looking at her like,
yeah, for sure,
sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And then his jaw will start to twitch, and because now he's starting to feel uncomfortable, and he's just giving her that death stare with no life behind his eyes, and his jaw is just like.
And there was one point where I think they were talking about the final thing, and she's like, "Yes, I wanted someone." Same thing. She's like, I'm going to say it. What do you think? He's like, "Yeah, well, we'll see." Yeah, he gave the same kind of like, "We'll see." Hopefully. It's becoming, and she was like,
because she kept saying we'll be together after decision day, where we're together forever and start this. And he's like,
he said, of course we'll be in each other's lives. So he said something like that. Like she's like, what? I thought we were married. Yeah. I mean, I thought he's hedging his bet too.
If he needed any reason to not stay married with her ass, he should have gotten it when they took that damn personality test. Remember, they took that, I forgot the name of it, but they took like the personality test.
Results. What happened after?
Well, he took it apparently, and then I guess he spoke to her about it, and he wanted her to take it. So they were literally sitting on the couch. She grabs the laptop, and she's just like, I've never taken one of those tests. So she's reading the question, and how important is it for, you to have children and be a one, and she's just like, man, I don't think about that. Like every question she answered, she's like, meh.
Well,
yeah, no. And he's looking at her like, what the fuck? Huh?
I remember that part. Well, how did it end? How did their test scores? I mean, did they say what
it didn't say what his were, but and there were no scores. It was just she was reading the questions while he was sitting there, and her answers were just
turning him off.
Had no care, and it was turning him off, and he's just looking at her like,
yeah, I saw that part. Okay. Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna stay married.
I think I think he will do it for her. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to, but I think he's gonna. I don't know now. Actually,
I don't know. I like Tanya because I'm like,
I don't think he is.
I think that would be his out for whatever reason, because he does not want to be married to anybody. And
not a female.
Yeah.
He's not saying he doesn't want to be married to anybody, but not a woman.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I said, I'm not saying he won't be married, but I mean, not that he doesn't want to get married. He just doesn't want to get married to a woman or stay married to a woman.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to say yes.
I don't think he's going to say yes.
Oh, wow. I don't think, all right. So what percentages? What percentages do we get? I think
I'm giving him.
And who's going to go first? She's going to go first, right? Are they going to have her go first?
Well, yeah, because she's the most talkative. So they got to go first with her.
Okay.
And
then she'll sit there and profess her love and say that the relationship is a 10 out of a 10, like she always does.
She's 85. She's 90%. She's 85%. She's 85%. He
is at least a stone cold
45,
25, 30.
45?
45. He's on the. He could almost go either way, but he's on the other side of.
I'll say 45. That's a good one. That's a.
He's on the other side of no.
To make it competitive, I would say 35.
With a plus minus percentage point, like they do in polls of 3 to 5%. You got the little, for the Anyway, so yeah. She really wants it, and still haven't had sex, and she really wants him to say "I love you," and he's not going to say it.
You don't think he'll say it on decision day?
No.
Oh God, no. Hell to the no.
Because it takes way. If it hasn't happened by now, after 2 months, it's going to take at least 6 more months for him to say "I love you." Oh yeah. He's set in his.
If it even lasts that long, because I don't even think it would last that long.
But she said that she would not continue with him if he did not say. I know she's just saying it, but if he didn't say it on that day, if he didn't say "I love you" on decision day, she wasn't going to stay with him.
She'll stay with him. If she'll be the first one to talk, and she'll be talking about how great their relationship is, and then she'll say, "Yeah, I can't wait to start my life with him," and he's going to be like.
I'm giving him that 45.
And the fact that remember, he's been in control of everything. Everything. Now she gets up, she goes to sleep at 10:30. Remember at the beginning, she was like,
yes, I remember that. I was like,
at 10:30, and now she's like, yeah, I go to sleep at 10:30.
I love it. But I told you, she's like a battered woman. Now she's like friggin' morphing into him. Ugh.
Right.
Well, because she's had, like she said, she's come from a sexless, loveless relationship that she was all in. Every other person she's been with, she's told them she loves them like right off the bat or has sex with them like that day. And it's like, it didn't work out. And the last relationship she said was disastrous. So poor thing, she's just like a battered woman.
Yeah.
She's like, I feel I'm going to stay with him. I love him.
She really wants it. She really wants it.
And he's just not the one. I don't think he. No. I'm going with Tanya. I don't think he.
I'm giving him a 35. They ain't lasting.
Oh, 35. Ooh.
35. I'll give him a 45. I think he's not clueless enough, but I think he's like saving face enough where he'll do it because that's the right thing to do, kind of. And yeah, for sure. Yeah, they get along really well, and they could be great friends. And oh God.
Yeah, a whole lot of talking.
I
feel, all right. So we're basically done now because we know.
No, we've got the what's her face there? Jake and Haley, steak and eggs.
Did you see the size? First of all, did you see the steak? And did you see how he was cutting the steak? Like this.
Yep. And I was like, yo, he is a beast.
That is Jake. And you know what? Point blank, Jake knows who he is. You may not like him. You may not. What the hell was that shirt that he had on that was all ripped in the back? And all,
see? I think he did that. I think he was doing that at that point because she kept talking about his 80s outfits and, kind of like
he had a t-shirt
joking on him all the time.
That was like a ratty t-shirt, but all in the back was all shredded and open and like
it was like classic 80s Remember when we used to slash, you know?
Shirt.
Yeah.
I've seen that shirt. Where was he going?
Nowhere. He was in the kitchen.
It was in the house. It was in the
kitchen.
They
were just chilling. Oh.
Yeah, I think he was just doing that just to be an asshole.
But
because you know, everybody gets in him about his 80s clothes. I think he was just like, fuck off. That was his final fuck you. I'm gonna wear my friggin' slanted shirt looking like a total 1982 head. And everybody's gonna be on Facebook talking about, oh my God, did you see that shirt? We're talking about it.
But I love the fact that he told the reason why he left so early is because of the dogs, and he saw the dogs and had a good excuse. He probably didn't want to wake, as a considerate person, probably didn't want to wake her up because he's like, why? She'd be like, why'd you wake me up at 5 o'clock to tell me you're just leaving? Why don't you just go? That's no matter what he did, Haley wouldn't have liked it. So I like the fact that she had egg on her face when she's like, so you left early, huh? He's like, yeah, I left about 7. He's like, yeah, well, the guy has to work 16 hours a day, and you know, I saw the dogs and they were by the door and they're waiting for them, and I was concerned about, so I want to get back for them. And I was like, thank you, Jake. And she's like, oh, yeah, okay, I saw them, yeah, okay. And I was like, Haley, you evil woman.
Jeez. Listen to me.
I do not like her at all.
I do not
like her.
But did you get the sense that they had relations? They did the horizontal hustle last night?
No, they are not having sex ever again.
I don't know, because all right, when she came out of the room, it was like the morning that the guys were supposed to leave, and she came out of the room. He was in the kitchen, and she had this like cup of water, whatever she had, and she had this like kind of smile on her face. She's like, good morning. And he's like, good morning. And she's like, oh, fun night last night or something. And he's like, yeah, it was fun. And I was like, I thought y'all two were sleeping in different rooms.
No, no, there's no way. No. She didn't want to sleep in the same bed with him.
That's what I'm saying. But the way their banter was,
and if that happened, I was like, you know damn well Married at First Sight would have been like teasing you to like, they'd have had a camera up on the bed or above or something like this. Woke up in the morning, we'd all been like, oh, they're in bed together. Oh my God,
you know what? You are absolutely right.
No way. They're not even teasing anything kind of like that.
Yeah,
because she does not like him. She's like, and I hate the fact when she's talking and she's like, well, I've been single for 7 years, and I give it a you do not want to be with him. She has to say something to make herself look good. And I hate her.
Look better. And she's trying to.
I do not like her at all. And I think Jake, look, love him or hate him. Love him or hate him. But Jake knows who he is. Jake doesn't apologize for who he is. He's a nice guy who likes steak and eggs, who likes the 80s. He's a simple guy. He's a kind guy. He's trying to be understanding. He doesn't get mad. He doesn't fly off the handle. He tries to be. He's who he is.
But I don't know.
He is who he is.
All right.
He's not trying to be anything else but Jake. And if you love Jake, then you'll be. And if she loved Jake, he would be all in. He would be all in because he wants to be married. He wants to be with someone. He's almost at 40. He wants to have a family. He has a house. He has all this stuff. He can make modifications for stuff. Like she can dress him eventually, this, that, and the other, but she does not like him at all. So right now he's just like, let me just get to the end. I'm gonna be civil. I'm gonna be cool. We're gonna win our little thing together. Oh, yeah, okay, that's good. And he's gonna be nice. But if she gives me a little lip or attitude, I'm gonna give her lip or attitude back.
Yeah.
He didn't.
But it could go either way because if she imagine if she sits there and says to him, "Let's make it work."
There's no way. There's no way. She gave him the bracelet back. She didn't even say, look,
that was
what would have been a nicer thing to do? What if she went like this? Look what I have. She didn't do that. She gave him the package from her mother and she said, here, this is for you. Did you want it back so bad? Here, this is for you. If she had been like, if she really had any kind of feelings for him or any consideration for him, she'd have been like this, have the bracelet on like this and then put it up by her face. And he'd be like, oh, he'd be like, oh, is that the bracelet? It's like, yeah, I had my mom bring it back. And I think it was, I know you wanted me to wear it. And he's wearing
That's not who she is at all.
She is at all.
Not even
she
close.
Took the package. If she could have thrown it at him, she would have.
Yeah.
If she could have thrown the package out, and he's like, oh, okay, well, and he's not tired of explaining that that's not what it. You know what? Okay, thanks. Yeah, right. Okay. Jake is who he is. He's steak and eggs. He's like, oh, good steak. You know. And they're sitting at the thing, and
appreciate that about him. You know,
I've never had an issue with him. I like him.
Her thing is, for me, I feel like when I look at the two of them together, and on paper, I don't know what it is that those experts saw, because I guess you really can't tell when a person is going to have a personality dislike for each other. That's, I mean, that's something. But she comes across to me as a person that needs counseling because of that relationship that she had before. As much as she says it did not mess with her, that messed with her.
Could be. True.
I don't remember her relationship before.
Okay. Well, she's only talked about it. And
she said she hasn't been in a relationship in 7 years.
Right. And I'm saying that one
can't even count. I can't even remember things 7 years ago, a relationship. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can let it influence you, but she has been talking about getting married.
It's not going to work. I don't think
they. Feel like
I still give them a 0.
Got to that point.
Yes.
Like all the other women needed some serious counseling before they got to this point.
I think everybody needed some. I think everybody needs some counseling.
Yeah.
I think everybody needed some counseling before, you know.
This season was by far the worst. I don't know what those experts were thinking.
Well, the worst in terms of maybe the matches, but not the worst in terms of like Married at First Sight. Let's watch it.
Oh, I know.
You know what I mean?
All right. So
I've been trying to recommend to somebody what seasons to watch, and I'm like, well, this season was just to watch Chris Williams go bananas.
Oh, yeah. Now, are they coming back?
Who?
Chris and Paige. You know they got to go out.
Preview.
I have a feeling that reason why we haven't seen Paige or Chris for 2 weeks, 2 shows now. No Paige, no Chris. And I've been all over the book. And the book, them posts, them pages, everybody's like, where the hell's Chris and Paige? And I'm saying to myself, preview. I have a feeling they're going to bring their asses back.
So we're just going to have to watch the preview.
Yeah, what's the preview? And I was like,
oh. Just tell us what the preview was.
Okay. They're sitting on the couch. And I'm going to say one sentence that he says. There's 2 sentences. He says one sentence. She says the other sentence. He's sitting in the kid and on one end of the couch with her there, and he goes, I still have feelings for Paige. Right. You're look. There's the handshake, and I think it's time he's about to throw something. Look. And then she says, what have I been saying the whole time? Well, I think God.
Oh, hell no.
And I said, oh, I can't wait to talk to these girls when this cool. Can I just tell you? I have, and then what's her name? Crazy lady with the with the earrings at the bad, the poofy,
Dr. Pepper.
Not Dr. Pepper.
Juliana.
I'm Dr. Juliana.
She goes. Now I think you're playing us.
Ooh, so Chris, it's good.
Yeah. Because it's true. Because he is. Yeah. And they're gonna try and act like they got a little, back and forth going. I'm not even falling for it.
Did we do the percentages on Jake and Haley?
Haley and
I'm giving them a 0. Unless, well, you know what? Let me stop.
I'm giving her. I'm giving her up. She used to be 15%. Now I'm giving her 30%, and I'm giving him 45%.
I would go with that because it's not because I know both of them are going to say no, but
yes,
if it's that slight chance, it'd be like 45% that they would say no. Yes,
that he would say yes. She's
and
still 35.35. Yeah, right. Make it work.
She flips the script down.
Oh, you
my God.
really think something's going on?
Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that?
My brain
Go
is
with
like,
your gut, girl. Go with your gut.
Oh my God. when she flips the script, because she does want to be married, and she knows that he's a good guy, and she
knows what she's dealing with,
and she keeps saying there's a reason why they've paired us together.
So and what's the Dr. Pepper or someone else said, so the only reason why you don't like him is because of his 80s things and his clothes. Remember that she said that?
Yeah.
And that's what it's coming down to.
I don't know what you're seeing, Tanya, but
she's just this past episode, she had like a little, or maybe I'm just reading her wrong.
No, I think you're right. I think she's not coming around, but I think it's gone from I hate him, he's ridiculous, I'm not attracted to him at 15%, to when they actually won that game. Because remember, Vince said, they really know each other better than they're acting on. And he got everything about her right. And I think she didn't realize he is actually listening to her.
That's right.
Whose brother played soccer? Ding, 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 yours did. She's like, right. And they won together. And they're both competitive. And she only could win with him. And she had to win. And she needed him. And he came through for her.
Yep.
He came through for her. I'm telling you.
And the same with the dogs. When he told her he came home for the dogs. So he's and the
last thing that they wrote, remember the last thing they wrote, the Dr. Pepper thing? Because she said, the Dr. Pepper thing was a really good exercise. And he's like, yeah, I think so too. And now he's kind of like, the fact that he's resigned to the whole thing, and maybe that's bringing her a little bit back to, well, maybe he's not so bad after all, even though I'm really not we can work with the genes and this, that, and the other.
And do I want to go back to being single for another 7 years?
Right.
No.
And I really think that he would consider changing clothes, and, if she got him clothes or, wore, sneakers, or, hey, babe, why don't you do this? If she really was into him and liked him, I think she totally would. I think he totally would.
Oh, yeah. I have a feeling that and I don't know, it's a toss-up as to who they're going to let talk first. But I really think, I'm leaning towards her. I think she's going to be the deciding factor. Well, he's going to decide based off of her. If she says, I'm willing, we've had, it's been a rough time, but he's, a good dude.
Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that?
I'm willing. No, if he's willing, I'm willing to make this work and see where this goes, rather than walk away forever today. And I do think that
he would say yes.
Said it so many times. He would say yes.
She's got to go first. She's got to go first.
Yeah.
And I think she's going to go first. And if she says yes, he will say yes. She says no, he will say no.
Right. And he will say no with, disrespect. He ain't going out like no punk bitch.
She went from 15% from me to 35%.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. I'm going to give her, I'm with you, Chris.
A big step. Because now she's not as straight. The last time I saw her evil was when she threw the package at him. And also when she said, oh, Jake left in so-and-so. And he's like, well, and he came back. And she's like, well, so you left? And he came back, was like, yeah, I was concerned about so-and-so. She's like, oh, okay, well, yeah. But she softened up just a little bit, going, wow, he's not this monster who I really think he is.
Right.
I'm telling you, even though he took the steak out of the refrigerator, he's not the crazy.
I think she was putting on a lot this week. I mean,
okay.
I see that you feel that it was like a genuine turnaround for her. I watched just a little bit of the show that they had before that episode comes on, and she was on there with, and she's been on.
Those would help, huh?
She what?
Those would help, huh?
Yeah.
You watch those other things. Yeah, those other things. Yeah.
Shut up. She was saying how she's always the bad guy every week on this show. So I feel like
she's coming to the home stretch.
At a point she said, well, let me try and change my image a little. And then that came on, and here she is, like, looking good.
But that was already taped before they did tape those things. That's already taped. These little things that the ones they're doing recently are more recent ones, but they don't know what the next episode is going to be. So those have already been taped and done.
Right. I get that. And I kind of misspoke because I believe that regardless of her seeing that she was going to change. Because I felt like last week, she felt like, you know, when she was trying to get the women on her side or whatever, she knew she had to come off a little bit more sympathetic. Even her telling the story to her aunt, I mean, her mother, about how he wanted the bracelet or whatever. She's always going to go to make other people feel for her. So I feel like coming into the final stretch, she really tried to be nice to him.
I'm still leaning that she's gonna flip. That's all I'm saying. I just think she's gonna flip, and they're going. I wouldn't listen. I'm gonna go so far as after all the nonsense that went on this season, I wouldn't be surprised if Jake and Haley are the sole standing married couples.
Wow,
Jake and Haley.
Is a bold statement. I like it. I feel you. I like it.
I could be very wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jake and Haley are the ones walking out of there still married.
If you had told me that last year that what's his name, Amani, what's his name, Woody's best friend, and Karen and Miles together, I would have said you are out of your damn mind. And the fact that they are still together and thriving,
happily together. Yes,
she still seems like the same.
Yes, it's kind of like.
But no, but they are all up in love.
It's kind of like how Haley was.
Yep.
It's kind of like how Haley was.
Yep.
She did not like that man at all.
No.
He wasn't as disrespectful as Haley, though.
What now?
I said she wasn't. Oh, she was.
She called him emotional. She called him soft.
Oh, I forgot.
She called him.
You're right.
She called him all kinds of stuff.
Well,
how much?
And remember when he'd be sitting in the house,
his depression and all this stuff, and I can't stand him.
Yeah, okay.
No, she didn't. She sure as hell didn't like him.
I cannot believe that they're together.
Yep, I was stunned when she decided to stay married to him. I was like, what? And then when I revisited it online and saw that they were doing great, like taking trips, fucking. Oops, sorry. Yeah.
What happened?
But I really think the whole philosophy of Married at First Sight, I think, is a really interesting way to look at relationships today of what are women and what are men willing to give up and compromise in order to be married. Pretty much.
But you also look at it. You also look at it like these. Obviously, these are much younger people that are doing this. You get to see their perspective of how they view like friendships, relationships, marriages, things like that. They view it so much differently than we could ever. I'll speak for myself more than I could ever.
Well, like what do you mean by differently?
Yeah.
No, what do you mean by differently? Like how their perception is so much differently than ours. Are you just saying from being young?
Just from being young, and then like with having I don't know.
Taking niggas at 38 years old. That ain't young.
I guess I was thinking about Virginia. Because Virginia is just so.
At 20, at 20. How were you at 26, Tanya? How were you at 26? Did you know anything at 26?
Oh God, no.
No, yeah, none of us.
Everything.
Not even thinking about like married.
I was a mom.
Right, exactly. Yeah, but that's different being a mom and you had no choice to be mature. You had no choice. If you're raising children, that makes you automatically a grown up. So you have to evolve.
I tried to leave them at my parents' house, but they kept.
That's what I'm saying. But no matter what, though, if you have a child or children and you're married, that's a whole nother. You're invested.
Yeah.
If you have, if you don't have any, wife or kid or anything, or have anything to tie you back, You can live. You can sit in your backyard, Bougainville, and not worry about a little 3-year-old running around. You can sit in your backyard and be like, hey, sip on your protein drink, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, what is it?
You don't have to. You have to evolve to be an adult. Anyway, but yeah, I think I'm really excited for next week.
Me too.
I'm very excited for next week.
I am. I'm mad about this week, but the thing that I'm most excited about to see, the number one couple for me next week is Virginia and Eric.
I don't think she's not going to stay with him.
No, I'm just saying that's going to be the highlight of my night because there are.
What order do you think they're going to go in? What order?
I know.
I think it's going to be.
I think they're going to go with Eric.
No, I think it's going to start off with. Start off with Vinny and Brianna.
Oh, the order of the couples. I'm sorry. I think
Vinny and Brianna.
You think?
I think they'll start off strong. That's the most one that's going to be.
Yeah,
we
they
have an
gotta
idea of what
strong.
it's going to be.
The most obvious.
If they don't start with them, then there's going to be. It's because they know who's going first when they place it, so they have to be strategic about it. So if she flips on him or Vinny flips on her, they might save that.
I agree with you. It'll be Chin and Elf.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll go with
no, Jake and Haley.
Jake and Haley
are going to go second. I think they're going to go second. Jake and Haley are going to go second, just because unless there's a flip the switch. Jake and Haley are going to go second. Then I think Chin and Elf are going to go third. And then I'll say
what do we say? Virginia and Eric.
Virginia and Eric can go last.
And they're gonna save friggin' Chris and they're gonna save Chris and Paige for last.
They might get them out of the way though.
Or how about if they do them first and just get them out the way?
They may get them out the way and do them first because everyone wants to see what's going on with them. And I'm telling you, I saw the preview when he said I still have feelings for Paige, and she said, well, God has put me. I was like,
look, at this stage of the game, God is like, child, keep my name out your mouth at this point. Just keep my name out your mouth.
Yes.
And the fact that she would even show up. I wouldn't even show up. I mean, the fact that you would even show up. I mean, I'd show up if Lifetime, but I'd show up if Lifetime was like, okay, break me off some money. Okay, fine. I'll sit on the couch for, an hour show with this fool.
It's probably in the contract too, that
they do have to show
least,
up. Because we need to.
I would like to think, but then again, this is showbiz. I kind of would like to think that the humiliation that she suffered, I think if she decided to just walk away and want nothing to do with it, they'd probably let her go. I'd like to think.
Wait till you watch the preview.
Yeah, I have to save off on any hope for her. Because she hasn't just shown me that she just wants to be strong woman anyway. So, well, anyway.
I hope there's a surprise. I really just hope there's a surprise. Either Haley flips, which would be crazy.
I hope Haley flips.
She's going to say no. I'm telling you, Virginia's going to say no.
Oh, she's going to say no.
That's what I'm saying. This is the one this is the one I'm most anxious to see next week. It's like, Vinny and them. Nope, not so much. I want this one. Because you've been talking smack about it.
I'm telling you. I'm trying to tell you.
Okay. All right.
That was
that's it for this week, right? We all done for synthesis.
Yeah, we done. We good.
Next week. Big one.
The final one. Peace out.